Hello everybody. I promised that I would follow up with my Dinah video and teach you how to play the solo part that I did for the song Dinah. And this is really fun. If you haven't learned hammer-on and pull-offs yet, that's something that we're going to go over in the video. And it's a really fun solo. I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's kind of an intermediate plus. And we'll work on hammer-ons, pull-offs, talk about legato technique, and part of this song is actually from Star Wars. The melody of Cantina Band is the second part of the solo, so I hope you enjoy. All right, so we're looking at the Dinah solo section, and a couple things. I wrote this out with normal notation at the top, music notation, and then also tab at the bottom. So if you happen to see something that looks a little bit like a line connecting the notes, we call that a tie, a musical tie. That's the first thing you're going to see in the first measure. Now, the second measure, though, has a tie that doesn't go to the same note, and we call that it's going to be a hammer-on or a legato technique. Okay, so try this with me. If you've never done this before, I want you to find the string E, which is the second string, and I just want you to hit that string, and I want you to put your pointer finger down on fret 1. I want you to try that over and over again. Sounds like Jaws, right? And just kind of alternate between your right hand and your left hand. So we're going to be doing that quite a bit in this one. The other thing I want you to try is put your pointer finger back on, and I want you to play that note, F, and then pull off that finger. Whoops. So when you pull it off, you're going to get the note E as well. Okay, that's just an example to help you out. Now, this probably shouldn't be your very first piece that you play with hammer-ons and pull-offs, or solo, I should say. But you could play it pretty slowly and get the idea of how it goes. So let's break it down. First measure, we've got F, E, and then we have some notes here that have hammer-ons. So we're going to do the C, O2, 1, 3, O. Okay, I'll do those first two measures in time now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, something like that. So, and doing this fast is actually kind of a challenge. Kind of like that. So anywhere where you see the numbers connecting to each other, the very first number that has the tie starting it is going to be the note you actually pluck, and the second note is the finger coming down. Right? Okay, so let's take a look at the third measure. We're starting on a C, and you're just going to let that ring out. Okay. Now the next one is really fun. I make my pointer finger an anchor point, so which means I'm going to leave it on there. So you're going to do it again. And I'm actually letting a 3 bleed over as well, the G there. And then here's a note that's not written in the piece. You want to roll that ring finger back to catch the C in the next measure. Now let's swing it now. So da 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 da, which leaves even less time to hit that next C. Something like that. Let's take it from the beginning about the speed. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. All right, you're getting the idea now? So if you had trouble with that, go back and watch that, and feel free to slow it down. On YouTube, there's always a setting you can slow things down at. If you go to the gear icon and you click on it, it'll say playback speed, and from there you can choose to go down to 0.75% or 0.5%, but it would probably be pretty distorted at that point. All right, so that took us through the first line of music. Let's take a look. Let's start at measure 5, which is the last measure of the first line, just to give us a good starting point. So you have 1, 2, here is 5. Now, we're going to shift up in measure 6 to the 3rd fret. And then you're going to kind of do a half bar here. So it's a 3, 5, 3, 5, 3. And you're going to pull that one off. Hammer, 3, 5, pull off, 1. Do it faster here. It's much easier to show you, I think. I feel like I'm playing banjo or something. No, I've never really played banjo, but to me this little intro solo sounds a little bit bluegrassy for whatever reason. All right, so let's try the whole first section. Oh, I forgot a measure. Let's do the one after it. It's a little tag. It goes 2, 1, 0. All right, so you can tell I borrowed the melody of Dinah in the solo at first. 1, 2, beginning, go. 4, 1. 4, 1. 4, 1. 2, 1, 0. Hopefully you were able to follow along. Let's take a look at the next part now. Unofficially, this measure 9 here is from Star Wars, Cantina Band. It's kind of like in the B section of Cantina Band. It's not the it comes after that. All right, so here's for this part, I come up to my I come up and use my second finger here. I go, I'm picking all of it. Very difficult to pick really, really fast. So there are many alternate ways that you could play this as far as your right hand technique goes, because your thumb might get tongue-tied a little bit, or thumb-tied. You might find it easier to hammer it on as well. And you might also catch that I'm getting a noise that I don't really want. After I play 5 and I come off of it, it'll make a sound. You hear that open string ring, right? That is a challenge in itself, and you can kind of avoid that by touching your thumb to that string. So, and that pretty much, this is the same exact thing all the way to the end of the solo, but it works because the chords change behind it, starting at measure 9. So let's start at measure 9. I'll walk it all the way to the end of the piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2. Let's stop here. We're gonna bring down your finger to 3, 3, 3, 2, 3, and then we're gonna walk it down. 3, 1, 0, 3. If it had an ending, which it doesn't really, you'd end on 1 because we're in the key of F, I believe. All right, let's do the whole thing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That's the solo. Now you just have to get it fast, and that's the hard part. But that's all the techniques in order to do it. All right, thank you for watching, and I'll be creating new content very, very soon. Tomorrow, I'm really excited. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to interview Jim Beloff and talk about the Daily Ukulele books and flea market music, his business. And I'm really, really excited. I think everyone will be really excited to hear from him since his involvement with ukulele. It's been almost 30 years plus, probably since he's picked it up. And I think without him, the ukulele world would look very, very different. So I'm super excited, and I feel blessed to be able to interview him. Hope you enjoy.